A body is a computer, learned experience software it gains. Both are scrap bar the other, regardless what one contains. Thinking all the possible formulas through. Guanine, cytosine, adenine and thymine, adding an interchangeable one, uracil, then there is you. Culture and genetics determine us, one is useless without number two. Nothing simple comes to a body. Count sit-ups if you want a hobby.
Think you may have the saying of the century? It always seems to start with something elementary. Found buried in deep sediment documentary tends to block. Usually, on a level to which we've become wholly suited. All I can say commonly is, to keep it simple and stupid. Everything should be made as simple as possible but not simpler. More complicated comments of interpretations become dissimilar.
Good judgment our savior. Control instinctive behavior. Some say war is inevitable. Of rationality, we are capable. Left living in trees to open land. As predator fought to understand. Comes to conflicts, we are not dumb. Eventuality is we shall all succumb. A child should not be blamed for its parents' sin. Accept peace or be consumed by hatred then. Man's tireless ways with war will never win.
Flaws by nature's laws are unique characteristics of untried design. If the environment requires it, your own species or kind won't mind. The environment determines your evolution: atmosphere, food, weather and pollution along with any man-made solution. So give our Mother Earth a break. If not for others, for your own sake. Same rock on which we entirely dwell. Make it lasting heaven or make it hell.
Please the public do not forsake. Hippocratic vow doctors take, to people the audience make. Healthcare, welfare, need I dare? Even adult, nothing seems fair. To help men is wealth, to those who care. Stun ones with facts or baffle them with bullshit, anything but lie. Try not to hurt a fly. No one likes to cry. Others wouldn't try. Having gotten public attention, do all you can, not to let it die.
A solution to lasting peace is limitless energy wealth. To feed our populations, promote their worthy health. This is not up to someone else. False notion, perpetual motion. Geothermal is far less terminal. Fusion is totally less confusion. Solar is often holier. Wind has always been. Pay attention to methods that behave. Harness waves, stop digging graves. Think of the time or money it will save.
A soul is, no more or less than another human being. Looks deceiving, have not to do with love one is giving or receiving. Being said, your memory follows you, even after you are dead. So call it karma or reap what you sow. Afterlife is in what others, living, know. Entity is the function of the universe's density. Any length of time combined is not forever. In a singularity, we originated together.
A train wreck? I am glad it wasn't mine. Things I did for mankind, weren't all divine. A heart of gold, still I constantly try to find. And you say you did not see it coming? Hope you got out, then started running. Your appointment with death was made by our Maker. Like a date with a woman, you should not forsake her. Realize your end is inevitable, or that force who made you also takes you. Fact.
A well-told lie overshadows fact that is correct. Watch out, buddy, if you are up to placing a bet. I'll make it advice, not an outright threat. Leave everything to politicians and police, your human rights will quickly cease. All you have to do is loiter to break the law and order. Litter at fast food, it's all over, dude. When existence becomes a resistance, you waited too late, no point to reiterate.
Activity, one flaw to nature's law, deprives life of its brevity, allows accomplishment and helps in work's narrativity. How long have you been in that chair? Get up, go out, and get some fresh air. Nothing jars your thought, like a long walk before your important and extend talk. Exercise is the mandatory strain which opens arteries and clears the brain. So do not be afraid of a little pain.
Adaptability to change is a trait of living species which survives. That which does not conform to alteration of its environment dies. A pun is that change is inevitable, except from a vending machine. It is one's capability to survive between periods rich and one's lean. Dependent on the energy from our sun, the Earth's only one. If photosynthesis stops, most life on the planet's surface is done. After brain cells die, some last a lifetime. One asks why. Another picks up where others left off and give life a try. Neurons in our cerebral cortex aren't replaced, don't lie. You're getting on my neuron. I only have one left, moron. I know it, and that is why I find it difficult to multiply. A brain's got lots of nerves. More than you deserve. Extra cells unconnected there are kept simply as spare.
Age is a high price to pay for maturity. But not a total makeover assuredly. Being older I'm terrified of obscurity. Scared to death I am very afraid, of the accidents I may have caused, add to stupid mistakes I have made. And even those with a healthy mind find that everything else just fell in line. Why sit comfortably and dwell on sick thought? Healthy knowledge should be what you sought.
America, just like us, is always spending and can't stop lending. A thing I need is what I get. What I want is never ending. Welcome to the red, white and broke. Everyone wants a lavish lifestyle, one they can afford and will last a while. If you can't afford water, don't be expecting wine, a mansion, yacht or anything else you find. You may find it or it may find you, but surely don't expect it to.
Antagonists are all wrong or totally insane. Understanding their pathology and pain is truly the name of that game. Eyes are watching everywhere. Even of your closest friends, beware. We all play the unending, secretive, games of spy versus spy. While they're watching us, we're watching them, don't know why. It is for the country and patriot they explain, as every last cent they meticulously drain.
As we sum along history's highway, each have different perceptions of its own byway. Rhyme is simply how I see them my way. Everyone has their own tilt on history. Most of the actual phenomena remain a mystery. Even if we were to witness the very same event. No brains are the same. All have different content. Every perception is a happening of its own. A place in our mind we think of as home.
At least, I do not mind much having a lot. Be satisfied with what you've got. Laws will put you on the spot. Before you start, stop. Nothing is ever enough for committal to whom enough is only too little. He isn't getting an acquittal. Life is such a bad stress, to have only the very best and others belittle, only to end in a hospital. Do not become greedy, taking personal gains from the needy.
Beauty, brains or strength, nature goes to any length. To survive longest I think, adapt to a habitat or sink. Got any change? Hang on and try to live with it. It can only be useful in a place or time that it will fit. Because to a changing environment we must all submit. Angrily tear everything down to the ground and try it again. The surroundings you live in, your total environment will win.
Being alive is only a deceptive, and yet, convincing lie. We are merely a form of hologram in our Creator's eye, programmed to entertain and imagine big guy in the sky, keeping our Maker amused until the day we die. If only life didn't hurt and the hard pavement seemed so real. If I did not bleed when cut and have a wound to heal. If so I had no free will. Being a replica would be no big deal.
Being badass only is often the more simple task. And so think it is any good for is coming in last. Bringing up the rear is not any effortless task. Question ain't who'll let me, it is who'll stop me. Ascending a social ladder by murder and robbery, gangster life to some, the easy way from poverty. You may experience some short success at best. Until justice catches up to you to finish the rest.
Making a movie is a historical event even if it is based on fiction. Both bring fame. History and fiction don't make the same claim. From fairy tales to journals on history, movie making is a depiction. Get that through your narrow brain, before you are to blame. Instead of narrating or copying, however, prophecy is a prediction. I cannot tell the future, guess the gap between facts or superstition.
Assenting to love is fun. Falling out ain't fit. Can't think my line. Do you not know wit? With a touch of love, everyone is a poet, Plato and Shakespeare who truly show it. Punched, is more like, what you'd commit. 'Cause sometime love don't feel like it should. It becomes an odd feeling that hurts so good. No one would do such a thing, others would. It bites, you're bitten. Don't think it falsehood.
Combine particles and view phenomenon through entanglement. Then transport the parts where you want your message sent. View the system as a whole and an instantaneous link is lent. This spooky action at a distance does not make much sense. It may become necessary for people in cars to correspond instant messages to folk on Mars. It takes minutes to get your reply. Don't hold your breath, you may die.
Surely as your last breath nobody escapes death. Comes to a broken heart it's far better not to start. Why people die is not wildly obvious for most part. It is like some insidious, fifth-degree, murder plot. As each little broken heart expires, right on the dot. That cause of suffering to us, a lot. It sometimes takes years and years to expire. Forget plotting on revenge. Then go ahead retire.
Deceptions leave perceptive audience odd. It's not always factual what's centered in log. From an angle one views fact, another fraud. Do not be fooled to a twisted story on the internet. Media lies and relies on that, you may certainly bet. I'm just the man in the mirror, even that is distortion. How flat the reflector is determines your contortion. What you're viewing is an image, not the real portion.
Discern what you learn. Riches do not mean you're protected, if in turn wealth of understanding is something you neglected. Solomon's gifted a discerning mind, without which you'll be rejected. Wealth, beauty and praise are second to knowledge and wise decisions. Everything will follow you with good judgment, well as high position. Be known for knowledge. That is a greater wealth along with health.
Distinguish between your wants and needs. Who provides it to you and who is family? A relative is by faith not blood, you see. A list of wants longer than roads paved by good intention run away with actions irrespective of controlled prevention. And while we're always meaning well, it's the straightest path to hell. They both end in the same place, a molten lake of trouble and disgrace.
DNA places offspring. It does not say exactly what they feel. It can't read memory, and thought consciousness is a bigger deal. So what's the main difference between biological and conscious memory anyway? One is a chemical copying formula for the alignment of specific molecules in cells, they say. The other is a dynamic reading and storage process for subatomic particles in our neurological highway.
Deoxyribonucleic acid is the self-replicating material which rebuilds us. The memory of chemical recombinations is lastingly continuous. Life that does not end in the cells of your body's biological death continues in the living neurological processes of all the rest. People live on in our minds and we in theirs. Acculturation makes all us associates heirs that memory and genetic interacting shares.
Do not complicate life that is analyzable. Stick to objectives, easily classifiable. Perhaps go back to look in the Bible. Oh, where did I ever go wrong? Remember a prayer or song? It's all about looking for knowledge in the golden rule. Maybe then when you went to some church or school. At the time you probably thought that popular and cool. Do not think it right when you're wrong, and so be a fool.
Doesn't seem to matter who it is you like. Life's still just one long antagonistic fight. Main difference in deciding right from wrong is in choosing carefully the side you are on. I know for a fact I had some bad friends yesterday. But some of them were bad in a good sort of way. That is to say, they sure wasn't saints. They led their lives with no restraints. Who knows the kind of child it creates?
I do not care what you want, black or white. Makes little difference, if it is wrong or right. You only want to start a big, terrible, furious fight. Proving only that you are not too freaking bright. What is it going to be, Mr. Ideal or duel? Comes to unrest, negotiation becomes crucial. Before starting a war, be sure you have approval. Fighting is just an ancient way which seems so futile.
Do not judge a book by the description on its cover. Read beginning to end, then through analysis discover beauty from rubbish, and if you truly love her, though both may bring you some form of fame, history and fiction never make the same claim. One is already fact and has previously happened. The other is but someone's thoughtful imagination. Authorship a trap that requires thoughtful evaluation.
Don't place your expectations unreasonably high upon the shelf. There is one person you can be saved from, and that's yourself. Didn't know so many people would be out to shoot me down, he said. Hang on, help is coming, she said. Striving hard, he could not hang on. Thus the end of mighty King Kong happens as we ascend to a soaring climb, reaching vast heights, then end, unluckily dead.
Do not be taking more from other people than you absolutely need. Like a straight stick in water, honesty becomes twisted, saturated by greed. Don't become crooked, fulfilling wants of people who only wish to be pretty. Go play with your dolls now, dear, and leave old Parps to his self-pity. I already got you a pony, you little whippersnapper. I'm sick of what you want. Sometimes I'd like to slap her.
Dreamers mistake visions for verity, lack a more comprehensive clarity, match reality with only brief rarity. Forget what nonconformists feel. We are small parts of a bigger deal. Dreams are unquestioningly real. Believe in all aspiration wholeheartedly. They are a precursor to what will be. When they have already happened, entwined consciousness interacting, they're a past thought that's lasting.
Earth will be a better place and its people free, when all of us become known for what ones see. Transparent, not what we appear to be. And speaking, with forked tongue, who of us are not deaf and dumb? Only talk with double meaning or parable makes perceptive learning more bearable. Declaring war, you heartlessly turn around and run. Talking all about peace, but you still carry that gun?
Easier for a camel to pass through a needle's eye than rich men into heaven? The lesson is to lessen then, before the finality of our death beckons. Well, maybe in special instances, a few tiny, little camels made it through. And I'm sure God's got a ginormous needle laying around someplace too. Unable to grasp any pot of gold when you are gone. You shall have to remain alive to show your brain or brawn.
Eat and reproduce. Nature senses, organisms have strict agendas. Along with detailed instructions to die, or there would be no need to multiply. Entropy is lack of order or predictability, gradual, disintegrating decline to disorder. All that is programmed to live is destined to die. Old age, an unpreventable transformer. From simple to complex tendency is to return to less complicated forms of order.
Equality or common isn't the same as strange, because that spectrum you tend to rearrange, like all wave equations in the time domain. By changing any of the limits or parameters, peaks and troughs are given new diameters. So where you were in the middle and are now on top, you will move back to a center, only never seem to stop. You are not one-sided or another, in the center of every chop.
Eternal life the goal of science first? Maybe so, maybe no, blessing or curse? If pain is endless, living forever's only worse. And so, how's everyone doing for pain right now? Just makes you want to bum a cigarette, anyhow? Up their medicine and stay in bed? Do not get in trouble with the feds. Murder is still a crime, you know. How far do them pain medications go? Ouch, I want them fast, not slow.
Failing with honor is better than succeeding by fraud. I still have fun reliving my old memories in this blog. There isn't a friend better than nice. No enemy is worse than bad advice. I've listened long enough about rights. Just another excuse for my shortcomings? I don't see why there is more forthcoming. You should only be getting what you paid for. If you have not paid, then you won't get more.
Freedom from government, religion, and those who surely seem to know what's better for me than I do. That is exactly what I want. And believe me, fellow modern human beings, you all would like it too. Freedom to me would not be to escape their cause. More likely, to myself would be to create the laws. And so it's like gravity, this can end tragically. Do not mess with nature because it is a reality.
Freedom isn't free and peace surely comes at a cost. Consider what you defend and continue without when it's lost. I sure couldn't continue without my life. I'd defend that. Next assuredly is my best friend, and then yourself ask. Where in hell does it all end? Including Jesus too? Remember unfortunately that he died for me and you. No one knows, but we'll all find out when it is through.
Generalities are only a biased opinion. Individuals require specific attention. Racial blending I'd care to mention? If your judgments are ethnic, I am always more the skeptic. We're modern humans, that's authentic. Ethnicity boundaries are so fuzzy they are nearly non-existent, buddy. For the most part I wish they were. Mine could be ours. Ours could be hers. We all get what we inevitably deserve.
Genius is eternal patience, it kills you and is yet charitable. Kindly waits for you to die knowing everything's inheritable. What's the hurry? There's plenty of resources to go round. What's more important than another meal you've downed? Just goes to show that we never seem to get enough. They'll dig into impoverished pockets of the rest of us. People become greedy and just want more of the stuff.
Genius is sometimes limited. There's absolutely no end to becoming dumb. Knowledge you gather equals a sum till you succumb to die a smarter bum. But everything's relative, and I hate to be comparative in that respect. Anything attractive can be self-defeating as a survival tactic, even a defect. If you have got it and others want it, be careful. Its advantage in survival may be unsuccessful.
Give to children, never think that life's to begin or end. Any bad futures tomorrow we created today are our sin. Everyone likes to make babies, no one wants to take care of them. Tell me whose fault it is, her, them, mine, ours, us, you, we or him? It must be up to our maker or the one who invented us in the first place. It couldn't be my fault, I've nothing to do with manipulating ladies I chase.
Who conferred what we call numbers on us? So what is it seems to be, an all-fired fuss? Good yet unexplained? It was the work of God. Bad, well it's the devil. Man has got to be to blame for all the rest of it. Let us be on the level. So easy to explain anything by saying it is the work of God or work of the devil when it was really some dunderhead in accounting that just misplaced a decimal.
Guess numbers in a lottery. It is profit, well as prophecy. Many write it, few get it through. Got it right, that profits you. God is just while luck is not quite as such. Yet lucky, auspiciously, it is not you he'd touch. Why does he not play dice are a composite, made of profit, prophecy and the prophets? It will take more insight into the nature of time for prophets to complete this euphonic rhyme.
Work of art was the last recession. Worked over us all with great dedication. Guilty conscience needs to confess. A work of art's a good confession. I still feel down but not out. I just want to know all about life and that which is devout. It's for enjoyment not sacrifice you shout. You know that evil's never on vacation. Thank you Almighty for the information. What would we do without education?
Hatred and friendships all seem to begin with this. We can't change the past and the present ain't bliss. So say it to me nice old colleague or don't reminisce. Do not dwell on hatred. Say it nice or I will block and unfriend you. One's obsessed with sex, drugs, hate or bloodshed I do not view. Go scream at the man in the moon. Stand outdoors during a monsoon. Do not become part to hate, be immune.
Knowledge requires a good deal of intuition about what you see or hear on bad intention. Pursue knowledge, follow the golden rule, but do not be overly generous with a fool. One more scratch ticket and I'll quit gambling. Enough babbling about casino dismantling. Draw the card, spin the wheel, throw the dice. Bad luck just happens. Good luck never twice. You just have to pull a handle on that device.
He not busy being born is busy drying. Art a result of always trying, voices misfortune with truth underlying. Call it like you see it. I didn't steal the line. Borrow them from our friend over wine. Well and good, now all the world knows where my idea came, from who it arose. Turn it into another song to help her lovingly along. It will do none of us any good, then after we are gone.
Fantastic, freaking, freaky, fractured, fractals are thus. You see them in plants and panoramas all around us. Heaven's out there, it is reality ad infinitum. One's inside so small you could not find them. So seek both, complement ourselves enlightened. What on earth is it all flipping for, you question? These patterns display such a definite intention. The sign of some great design or creator mention.
Honesty is less profitable than dishonesty. A cheater is an ignoble wannabe. Honor and respect requires modesty. Whatever, yes you guessed, I'm still poor. I am honest, however that means much more. Don't compromise morals for monetary gain. It matters little. In the end it'll all be the same. What you've given up are worldly possessions. Though you have gained countless divine impressions.
Hope of ill gain, the beginning of loss. In the first place know who is your boss. That line use extreme caution to cross. Then watch where you are standing. Be aware, it is about understanding. I will tell the IRS I just found the money. The government views this, all but funny. Though it fell from high heaven it is still not income. Depending on who lost it and where it primarily came from.
Ceaseless housework, ashes to ashes, dust to dirt. How did it get there? I don't care. I was here first. Work settles at home. Invite God into your humble house. Ask Him to do work for you. Then you will have some doubt about those stains that never come out. This could not be heaven, you begin to doubt. So should one just give it all to the cleaner? Our Lord is not a servant, more an intervener.
How you play's paramount. Next to cheating it's most tantamount. Fair play is what it's about. Win or lose doesn't count? Shouldn't play soccer after finishing a 40 of stout malt liquors, but people do it anyway. Still I guess this is much better than getting in your car and driving on the freeway. After drinking mostly we simply go to sleep if you have a better place to rest your feet.
I admire devout people, even some who are political up to the point where they become self-centered and hypocritical. Out of my way people, you're blocking the light. I'm the center of the universe. I know I'm right. Stand in my shadow, not between me and the sun. It'll stop orbiting around me, the omnipotent one. My ego naturally is bigger than all outdoors. Of course I'm simply one everybody adores.
In actuality, I do not have a soul. More like, I am one. Life includes a lot of pain, but I'm really here for fun. I have a body, and for certain this one is extremely banging. I only wonder what is going to be left, just after my hanging. Well, I won't say it, as some folks, I know would readily grant my wish. And it could be you are just a memory, after everything else for which you fish.
I owe you 5, and you may well bet, I'll make a fist to see you get the rest. It's all I have and all you'll get, unless you want another hint. The IRS loves taxing people, and it's your lucky day. They're passing out free beatings to people who forgot to pay. The first customers get 2 for the price of 1. Tax is extra, the thrashings are just for fun, so you won't forget to pay them again, you bum.
Envy the idle rich, with money, who needs a reference. For executions, what would be your method of preference? Comes down to it, I prefer the simple life that is not too effortless. It keeps me from jealousy, vengeance, and things that are treacherous. The good old days when solutions to society's problems were measureless. It got this way during the revolution cause upper class was not too generous.
Bust ass keeping on my feet trying to make ends meet. I would share food before my comfortable seat. Price where you live compared to what you eat. More than a mouthful you eat in the street. It's uncomfortable food plus rent equals more than you make. And you must decide between place to stay in another state. It is not funny, nor does it intend to be. Church can help. Be good and show mercy.
I'm black, prejudiced of white. I'm they and hate the night. Bored of peace, I want to fight. Neither becomes you. Color gray, clothes I wear, game I play. Gray, a suit for any and all occasions. 24/7, even on vacation. Then wherever you are on any background, you blend into almost everything around. Unless you want to stand out and be seen. Then you would require red, blue, or green.
If it comes true, careful what you wish for. Ask your Redeemer, check your rapport. Good for you isn't always simply more. Get you a drink? Sit there a bit and think. Complain you don't get anything you want. Sit around in your home and act nonchalant. So you notice other people do. Why doesn't that include you? It would cause you to end it all, fool, ninny. If you just drop dead, you won't get any.
If we value research or science much as we did war, we would have no need for violence or what it is for. It is my own form of logic, and I will bore you no more. I would like to say that science rules, in actuality it does, given modern tools. Who wins in war proves the fools. Killing and combat proves superiority. Historians may agree in a vast majority. I would not know and am not an authority.
If you've been used, don't be confused when it comes to who's being desperately pursued. Don't wait to be rescued after truth you refused. Churning it over, do not drown in doubt or stay with a sinking boat and never get out. Belief in a savior reflects in your behavior. Continue on and make up your mind. Do not change it time after time. Truly, the Lord is hard to find. Sometimes you get behind.
Improving perfections like finding a new infinity. Divinity, unknown, may take any shape as an entity. Go on, try and define something divine. Difficult is drawing a truly straight line. Work very long and patiently, while I dine. Nothing can exceed the speed of light. But for a moment assume it is not right. It is a very scary thing, called entanglement. Makes no sense? Wrap your mind around it.
What's heaven's coordinate? At times minds don't operate. In a realm songs birds sing, colors of wildflowers bring knowledge of gifts from above given to them with faith and love. Enter the realm, ask and believe, give your consent, and you will receive a spirit to bring your soul back to Him, Creator and created, free from sin. If these all sound too good to be true, just answer me this: who created you?
In life, conscious consciences are continually cautious of any ideas lost us. Once discussed thus, what did the concept's loss ultimately cost in trust? It's a tongue twister, mister, and I'm not a trickster or a very good predictor. So if your idea is lost, I hope you find it. This took more energy than I'd submit. To forecast the weather takes no permit. You are never going to understand it, I'll admit.
Escaping death, eternal life, on one's faith may hinge. In the end, harm for injury, at another's hand, is revenge. To judge and punish, harm inflicted on another, is to avenge. These days they just suspend your license. There is not any point striking out in defiance. Take a lead from leaders and find it in science. Fair is fair to all who are there, prepare. Pass on my word and thought declare.
Inevitable death and taxes is why no one relaxes. Funerals aren't free, then there is a doctor's fee. Seems that this anemia will always be. That paperwork will pile up on your desk, you'll never be through. The burden of that and a wife adds up until it eventually kills you too. So take a long rest. Just look. My good man, take a vacation first. There is nothing to see riding in the back of a hearse.
Intimidation is the most effective persuasion, in any human equation, causes instability in any nation lacking equivalent legal representation. Seen from the Manchurian Candidate, brainwashing at its best. And there is a last resort, free speech, voters' choice and the rest. But none of us would want to resort to that. Except perhaps, those patriotic people who died courageously for it in combat.
Intuition is the total suspension of logic due to aggravated agitation proven right or wrong by many judges through some tiresome litigation. I am dragging everyone who has ever offended me off into court. I can always rely on my favorite friends, the good judge, support. Heck, and to whom else am I ever owed some monumental favor? That daunting man with the hangman's rope and a piece of paper?
Is it man's place to test his maker? Ask the folks at CERN, where conditions of the early universe are the only concern. We may test the primal condition of our maker. Only certainly men do not control Mother Nature. Colliding atomic nuclei and looking at the pieces, on different energy levels to see what it releases. 125 giga-electron volts. The colliding heavy nucleus revolts.
It takes a long time to grow an old friend, an instant for that life to end. Stop the illness before it begins. Thank God for doctors and the miracle of antibiotics, even ones that don't work because they are basically neurotics. The downside of anesthetics are when they prescribe narcotics. So they're all out having fun on the golf course. Needn't worry again about rejoining the workforce.
Justice's toughest comes to all of us. Know what seems best for all of the rest. Settle it my own quick way, but dang, people I know'd surely see me hang. We are keen, so go along with the gang. Only want to see what's fair to me and do not care what's just for us. Honesty, freedom and equality is what Mr. Lincoln would say. If you're an honest, working person, you should have it that way.
The old saying holds true. Keep friends cozy, and the ones you live in fear of keep cozier. That is because in life's unceasing reality there's no lasting or perpetual neutrality. Parts of my rhyme are wasting my time. They all suffered through World War II in Germany. But Joe Stalin wasn't much better than Hitler, you see. Makes me feel glad to be part of a democracy. Thought we were all buddies.
Go ahead pointing that accusational finger and see. They end them turning around quickly to point at me. Then I go ahead pointing the same suspicious stare at you for starting the whole thing in the first place. Know it is you too. Look out, here it comes. The karma thing, reap what you sow. Catches up with you wherever you hide or where you go. That what you planted eventually will continue grow.
kill and conceive? Give or receive? End life or let it begin? Any mortal decision affects all in the end, enemy or friend. Be careful, mortal decisions affect all of us. No man is an island, and who could you trust? A mortal soul is not replaceable. Causing one's life to end is not erasable. When you take or create life, you deal with our Creator. Some reasons are justifiable, others are deniable.
Killing for mankind's good's fine as long as it's yours, not mine. The line between us and them, would you care to define? Faith in scientific method explains the universe feasibly. Religion, unlike science, says these things so easily. That is why we perpetually go about believing serenely. So always remember and keep saying your best prayers. Believe what you pray for. Maintain your persistent affairs.
The lessons of continued misfortune ring true. Those who sing the blues seem always born to lose. And once you pay your dues, this then conforms to you. And yet I still hang around with the wrong crowd. I think it is, in a way, because we all are endowed. Sorrow, hardship and heartbreak, never in short supply. Life is hard to everyone, and then we just die, rarely having been explained a reason why.
Liars photograph while photographs do not lie. Truth is not for sale. There's nothing you may buy. Simply stated, I am writing history is why. Correcting some of its events, I should say. So that it is my own view on history, in a way. Now some may not agree. I am one and they? Many would never understand the ideas precisely, meant he. But if I were to sway you to my opinion, there would be plenty.
Lies start a rumor that grow like a tumor. That would have stopped sooner. Sure, cure for cancer would have its answer. I may very well be the next to go. And who would know? So get it checked out right away. Listen to what your doctors say. We've but one life to live. And only so much to give. Some die of heart sore. Others perish in traffic and war. Health is important, don't put it off no more.
Life is an aggravation, kills you at best, but still remains the most effective therapist. Not a good living, one left. If only Sigmund Freud were alive today. I would get in touch with him right away. Explain where technology has taken us anyway. Does us little good with our wanton depravity. It is a force like gravity that messes up reality. Psychoanalysis is frankly beyond my capacity.
Loneliness, the worst kind of impoverishment. To be with others, a day well spent. Company is good, even ones you resent. Love your neighbor is always right. In the wicked, find things that delight. Love them, no one said nothing about like. Just glance out a window and look at all the lonely people. Living alone, while offering some solace, is so darn medieval. Having friends is much more gleeful.
You are just the jealous type. Lookalikes are phenotype. Parental heredity is genotype. Is species a race? Then what we learned is a mistake. Homo sapiens sapiens, modern humans, are the same race. So no matter what categories you acknowledge to fall in, we all, fortunately or not, are the same kind of aliens. Human categorizations of shared features then, Asian, Black, Australoid or Caucasians.
Don't become zealous of things you want. View what your need is similar to that of an infant. When desires master mind, then end in disgrace. Where beauty replaces brain, watch what you chase. All in the mind, friend. Confucius Camely say. You'd think to pay it no attention, it would go away. Don't pick beauty over brains is all I'm saying. Only it goes to say, you may spend a long time waiting.
Love of work is expert in result. Like what you're doing, it's difficult to halt. A job you hate is your own dang fault. 9 to 5, and what thanks do you get? We live in a pitiless world I have to regret. So take this out on anyone you like. But don't blame me, I'm going on strike. The working class, like it or submit. Avoid it, you'll have crimes to commit. Only never think that you're above it.
Love or lust, dust to dust, memory continues in all of us. Like a conversation we discussed. Good or bad, heaven or hell, is in people's minds where you dwell. You know, for pain, some of us would rather forget. Pack it up then, people. Because I am changing my outfit. How far into writing did you get? Sometimes my mind ain't lit. At this point you just have to go out and get fired up a little bit.
Matter, antimatter, is a true vacuum inside our universe? Is it antimatter? Matter expands into that was here first. Create tiny new universes inside which your thoughts may dwell. We can disconnect matter. Why not split antimatter? Certainly as well. Curled up in a different dimension and all too small to even mention. Sorry, I'm too strung out on strings. First I'd have to get off those things.
Might is not nice, but comes to a fight it is always peculiarly, quite exact and right. This is very ugly and it just is not, in any way, fair. And that is why, of course, we invented the electric chair. Service, I will give you service, they say. I am telling you, this isn't a way to start the day. My first customer walks in and he can't even pay. Tells me how to run a business, get out of my way.
Money and respect is not commanded in it. No average person may rightly demand it. Both must be earned for people to hand it. Do you demand respect or earn it through conflict? Before causing an event like war, relax a bit. If you command respect, it is forthcoming. If you demand it, you had better start running. Just a saying. We all desire appreciation, depending on its upholding interpretation.
The more I see, less I may acknowledge for sure. Find new diseases. No, there is no cure. Heavens are eternal, but we will not endure. Ashes inevitably turn to ashes and dust to dust. If the Lord doesn't get you, the devil he must. An inescapable date with death seems unkind. But face it, we are going to go there sometime. Take my ashes, arrange them in a can, and pour it out onto the beach sands.
Money, we'll give it up sometime. Satisfy creature comforts, that's fine. Important to personality, all-knowing, our egos though never stop going and are what we're usually left holding. Can FBI see through their disguise? How about your software FBI guys? More than riches or turn on in ways, we seek recognition and lofty praise. Desired may be a short-lived craze and rich merely a temporary phase.
Most dogs are better than us. Being so, they know many things but don't tell. And so people, who know better, should follow, and comment on, a blog's tale. No comment stops us or them from running around, perpetual, dizzying, circles. Dogs are basically smart. They think, bark, smell and some with keen eyesight, see. They all love good owners, much as people love their pets, I would guarantee.
To all the viewers, my photos are free, any who are a seer. For what have I to fear toward what you will see and hear? Laughter's always more fun and kinder than any tears. All the photos on my Google Plus tell of stories. To some I have gone to great lengths for these. The internet is my kind of crystal ball. Peer into your plasma screen and see it all. Don't think it more than an image on a wall.
Nature uses nothing in vain. Pity the imperative of Earth's pain. We are, fortunately or not, her keepers all the same. Don't defile our home, this sphere Earth, thinking again. Keep her a happy, little, blue, white and green planet. Just the right kind of climate so that everyone can stand it. Nothing's even close to this, in the solar system we cross. Where do people think we are getting off?
Never trust the joker or he who makes nonsense out of good sense. In truth, reality is a dependence, in what comes hence. Come to grips with actuality, that consequence, and it will become your best defense. Running after assumptions, be careful of your confidence. Remain calm and monitor the bullshit. Hypocrisy is drivel no matter who may push it. Those who say one thing and do the other are sick.
Everyone living is destined to die. Is it the truth or a convincing lie? Gray cells, it is then up to them to not let another's life end. Live in memory of our great Creator then. Savior, and each who's a sinner down to the first beginner. That is not to say, we did not evolve. It's a perplexity each of us must solve. We fashion ourselves in a maker's eye. Then see ourselves as him. That is why.
Once violence achieves an end, the new cycle of death begins. One outdone begins to thrive as an old oppressor eventually dies. A problem of fighting fire with fire, it goes around, then comes around to burn your ass when you're the liar. Finish your meal and go ride your bicycle. We're all just another part of the carbon cycle. Buffaloes don't like it. Neither would a shepherd, so butt out leopard.
A last and out brief candle. Is life simply more than you can handle? Just stand the scandal, taking life makes you even more the vandal. Out brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and is heard no more. Tragedy is when we all just died and not even God could sort it out, let alone a humdrum writer named Shakespeare.
Of tales of the future one is true. All forgotten except that named prophecy, retold as history to quite a few. Do not quote me. I may put a lawsuit on you that could flatten you like a flounder. If God your maker don't beat me to you. Only the Grimm brothers would have kept a lot of stories that simply weren't true. And to this day they're handed down from generation to the next. Have a taste. Be my guest.
Peace will tend to set you free, while rage will keep you in a cage. Freedom or protection which would last? My God, then there is all of that tax. An escape-proof good cage can cost more than a comfortable house. Who would be paying for either one of them? I would hate to announce. Predators are everywhere, you'd hate to be bitten. We would hardly feel safe, wherever we happened to be sitting.
People pay for beautiful lies while ignoring an ugly truth. That age is the teacher of youth and makes you an old sleuth. Waiting on the truth we become aged protagonists. Sinister bunch of senior citizens, worst kind of antagonists. No one wants to die waiting. So what is this investigation paying? I shall wait for a while. Patience is my style. Should I die, knowledge shall pass to a child.
People should be respected, not made a full sensation. With famous comes provocation, frustration, temptation and taxation. Thunk, ouch. Sound of my wallet screaming out in agony. If no one had to pay taxes, it'd be a big tragedy. Go ahead, you know evasion is illegal just like stealing? Go out and give it our all, become rich and famous, until the Internal Revenue Service comes to claim us.
Pictures are poems without words. Instants in time no soul has heard. They represent our quiet rhymes. They highlight momentous times. And also reflect any silent crimes. As always, I'm in deep thought about what lead up to being watched. Anything at all, including murder too. They may also be altered and untrue. So truth may include photographic renditions. Unaltered and excluding what hearsay mentions.
We do our best. Poets rhyme and jest, are sincere in truth of all the rest. It is not my game to put our maker to the test. It isn't man's place to test his maker or even to protest. Atomic physicists are doing that even as I speak. Particles jump into and out of existence, strong and weak. How is it possible, you say? Ask theoretical physicist Paul Adrian Dirac for a hugely good expert's critique.
Point of view relative to from where you stand. When all view the same from elsewhere, your opinion is grand. Standing on my head 10 minutes, I have found it is harder to read, while you are upside down. Take into account the dimension of the background, interpreted by that of your eye and foreground. So have a chair if you are as small as a mouse. Lift your feet but don't take up the whole house.
In poker, one's competitors are fear and greed. Family deal with understanding, love and need. Music, your soul being liberated, assume you afford strings freed to proceed. Starving is not to sing about. Do not gamble money, you'll need your meals. Don't worry about what you're driving, they are only modern horses, automobiles. Expertise on bluffing, odds and statistics, is what skill and not luck reveals.
Keep trying for a bigger atom smasher. Primal factor, simply, is not an answer. Observing is disturbing a particle at best, which is assuredly a transitive, proximate reflection of all the rest. What are the chances of all the mass in the universe occupying the same place at the same time? Astronomical but not impossible. Assuming the concept of rising from a singularity is not too sublime.
Quanta of light, it's that massless particles called photons. And is the least energy required in any interaction, moron. It could be released energy, if it in turn happens coincidentally to be the minimal cause of another interaction, or in the case of nuclear fission, a chain reaction. Smallest cup of prune juice causing a quantum crap. The doctor was right, shucks, it killed him. Then that was that.
Racism, fossil teeth or one of a hand, I understandably can closely stand. Different races in Neanderthal band. The concept, human, is hard to command. Homo sapiens we've become. A race we have one and all are one. Races and problems gotten quite serious. We all seem to want to find our own, it's delirious. People, there are only one subspecies. Of which we all are that same modern series.
Repayment of injustice is the guilt thing. Necks, banks, doorbells and souls it rings. It never stops charging us interest. So far as your maker goes, in him you trust. Payback will become now a bitch too. If you're never nice when it's through, no one's ever going to be nice to you. How you treat others is how you are going to be treated. That is easy to understand. It doesn't need to be repeated.
Retention is ingenuous, as in exact fact it is continuous. Two chains coil around each other to form a spiral, thus, carrying genetic instructions. DNA accurately rebuilds us. Life that does not end in death begins in memories of the rest. Good thing deoxyribonucleic acid remembers, because I surely don't. I have trouble with tempers. It is an incredibly complex job, these tiny base pair assemblers.
Riches covered in blood, lost by people's bleeding. This is a type of wealth you should not be needing. Leads you down a dead-end path. It's a living, that used to be, alas. People will go to any end chasing lavish lifestyles. Don't care how, just get what I want. Your partner smiles. Cheat, rob, murder, lie just to get things you can buy. And you can get anything, with honesty in very short supply.
Riches without mercy, pain without relief. One cause for another common belief. Wealth is fine until it brings you to grief. I am a king, if only inside my own heart. Go ahead and tear me lyrically apart. I'll turn around, get over it and restart. It has happened over and over again. With both of them, enemies and friends. Yet another torn canvas to mend? It was a signed check I was meaning to send.
See your nefariously ignited bridges burning bright? Think what lonely firefights they made, what fleeting ephemeral lights. It became mournfully cold, as we ran away. And being pursued gave no righteous reasons to stay. We shall not cross over them again from this day. My main reason then is when adversaries give chase. Any route they could follow to vengeance themselves you erase.
Seems you're seeking the truth, if you're consulting a sleuth. Investigate if you're inclined making and taking life, stealing from others, or what a man may call his wife. Most of us can make babies. And earn a living too, but who? Perhaps first, maybe you should check on number 2. Foremost, you should earn a living to support yourself, before looking to support children with someone else.
Dig a shallow grave, then throw in a bag of lime. That concludes your deception and a capital crime. True to that form is deceit, conceiving who is born. Shall we open up that closet? Seems many people are lost in it. Dark in there, isn't it, and very creepy? Lovers and corpses completely freaky. All having sex in every imaginable way that's sleazy. Why are they in bed? It isn't that they're sleepy.
Pray for one shot, at a hard place, between the two eyes of a giant's face. I'm the type. Bernini got it right, wasn't paid to pose, owes me royalty I suppose. Millions of dollars for a piece of stone? What David looked like is unknown. An artist performed the toil. Art collectors got the spoils. For a bone of stone, stick to a statue alone. Chip off the old cock? Not me, I certainly hope not.
So if I were you, I would go right ahead and avoid server strife. Lawyers can steal more than all the men with guns or another wife, including happiness, everything you worked for, even your life. If you're going to a gunfight, bring a bigger gun and not a knife. I'm packing a .45 nonetheless. There isn't anyone I'll impress. A lot of us merely lack finesse. I am just one they chose to oppress.
So the devil made you do it, but it doesn't mean you're wrong? A rhyme of greed and vanity, the alluring lyrics to his song. Where do these smoking buddies we all had belong? Well, I don't know, but they are very certainly gone. Don't know what they were smoking, but it sure was strong. They were such fun times, old days for which we long. It shortened most of our lives, though mine it has prolonged.
So your wish is to become a great and lasting legend? Much is to be reckoned, if your reputation is lessened and your well-being seriously damaged or threatened. You see that copyright using the specialized symbol C belongs between B and D, but, begging your pardon, please. No need now to aim it exactly between your infringing eyes. Skullduggery is exactly what that sort of plundering implies.
Spend more time hanging round church and doctors where you are less years listening to popular music, chasing after rock stars. Which has more significance to us, antibiotics or guitars? Medicines can help you live another 25 years. Churches are always looking for virtuous volunteers. At heavy metal concerts you'll become stone deaf. Listening to doctors you'll still have your sanity left.
Stand naked against enemies if looks can kill. Undressing requires the stripteaser's skill. An intellect stops there. Find something to wear. And yet another meaningless saying. That at time to time gets us braying. It was written by the devil, scrawled in dust. In lust you can trust. It is related to all of us. I am all for love, in time, that grinds lust to grime. Literally, lust is a crime.
Stay the long course. Do not change your mind. Lifelong term planning becomes a better design. A hurried decision does not the future bind. Don't walk into a quick marriage completely blind. Decisions, 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 won't you decide? The world may stop spinning and continents divide. Think before arriving at your permanent conclusion. That life itself may well have been merely an illusion.
Stone teaches us more than it preaches. It tolls our existence without any speeches. Touch it beseeches and light twice it reaches. I think Bernini basically got this right in his rendering. It is David, who lived before Jesus, we're remembering. Killed Goliath to keep the Israelites from surrendering. Anointed and appointed, he was no saint, but shepherd who became king, to whom we acquaint.
Strongest do not always survive the longest, or smartest get farthest. Nature picks ones that may fathom things she has thrown at them. Same game as testing your maker, you will not outsmart the force of nature. Man has every reason to fear his maker. The earth is our mother and he could break her. Venerate the Holy Father and respect our planet. It would not surprise me that he chose to damn it.
The best detectives are never married. Find secrets others carried. Keep looking for clues after they are buried. Until you die, never discontinue digging. Reach an end, go back to the beginning. Never give up, find any clue that's missing. Many things can be stolen, including identity. Not completely, but slowly and incrementally. Be objective and don't treat evidence temperamentally.
The fuss is that slow mercy has more lasting rewards than swift justice, but does nothing to sweeten your own personal vengeance or what lust is. Don't trust La Femme Fatale's distinct deception aiming to bust us. Envy what they are saying to ambush you by laying and waiting. Dawdling clemency takes much more time and understanding. Fast fairness instantly categorizes us and is quickly implanting.
The universe is part of a grand design. It's certain mysteries I've hoped to find. Heavens are all out there undefined. Not mere constructs within our mind. Heaven is no dream unless dreams are actual. For dreams to hold true they would be factual. After awakening, reveries are so supernatural. Prophecy, revelation or warning mostly fallible. There's a maker of us all with whom we're interactional.
There is always a rhyme you cannot complete. Think of serious lines that cut particularly deep, without returning to repost ones you repeat. Critically criticize every individual girl and guy, but please, do not make life out to be a big lie. You have a message and it's genuinely meaningful. Coming over angry is threatening, become cheerful. Rap on it, it's a good way to convey. Get an earful?
There is beauty, having nothing to do with good looks. Find in a book on how elements of our universe cook. Look at the gold dust out there. If we get to it or to us swear. Heavy elements from supernovas. People wouldn't wait on diplomas. We'd be out there chasing those stars. Collecting gold, bringing it home in jars. Not easy, 100 light years away. You would die of old age at the delay.
Temperaments become fiery as anger's increase. There is no quick, effortless formula for peace. Leave everything to politicians and police, your human rights will exceedingly quickly cease. Peace gets awfully boring once permanently fixed. Which is why, now and then, I enjoy a little conflict. It's because they are not we and aren't intermixed. That we will all ever be the same, I'm unconvinced.
They say, gentlemen exist only in shades of gray. So it is true. A scoundrel's no good to me or you. And believe me, I have known quite a few. Go on, buddy, take the money and run. In no time at all the chase has begun. Every one of us is not to be undone. No one believes it, that life's all for fun. Have you robbed any virtuous ladies lately? I'm sick of listening to what they want. She's crazy.
Thieves are inglorious. Their lives notorious. Working for them is, likewise, laborious. Their just deserts continuous disgrace. That methodology I can't easily embrace. All are mildly crooked, their lineage retrace. I am for fighting them, so quick to condemn. Wouldn't belittle charity too till it's me or him. We're all takers with them in need, it's grim. Carry the lamp of Diogenes. Be like him.
Things good and not nice assume man's maker does not play dice. We are part of his plan and he can make the same mistake twice. Ever figure the odds of even existing in the first place? Feel me in. I do not play God. I play with him. Only when there's a deck I can skim. Craps, where are my lucky sevens? He's definitely a real shaker. He is present in all things. Be careful messing with your maker.
Along contemplative photographic renditions, the arrow of time with our thoughts' retention, shall transport backward in a new dimension. All I have is a few old photos and I'm going to whiz back in time. To visit some old friends, those not with us anymore, in a rhyme. The stairs to eternity we climb. Descending steps, solve a crime. Stop in order to prevent the incident, very precisely on a dime.
To most people it's a simple soliloquy, get rich or bust. We only see what's fair and care what's just for us, suspicious of everyone until we know who to trust. I'm asking contributions to my research for the cure. To people like myself in particular, I unanimously refer. I'm asking for change in America, dollar bills preferred. So long as I'm paid some big bucks, each edition will become deluxe.
Saving lives is worth dying for, like religion, however it's more. Man's nature is to always become curious. Religion is taken for granted by most of us. Rather or not, it is wholly accurate discuss. Earth's round once underwater, isn't quite right. It is more like spherical and once covered in ice. Sacrifice is convincing. It establishes relevance. More than belief, seek truth with solid evidence.
Truth is beauty, but not at all times splendid, pleasing or kind. It lay foundations for your existence, all history it has timed. Antimatter disintegration seems likely, if there were enough to create it wisely. So one may say that it is kind of true. Or an ugly fact that not all of us knew. Beginning our own universe, who began the annihilation through which antimatter and matter mixed with the new.
Truth is often closer to a shade of gray for ones who know only night and day. Hiding between most extremes and an extremist. They see black or white, so make no agreement. What is real may simply be hiding in shadow. Absolute like infinity reality is hard to swallow. So let us not ponder on the characteristics of reality. Let's stick to how long we may have to live and nature of mortality.
Gravity, mass is its source and always attractive. The weak nuclear force is neutrinos or radioactive. Electricity, magnetism, light, attractive and repulsive. Holding atomic nuclei together is convulsive. 12 particles plus 4 forces, sum of my affairs, with luck tell what the universe's course is, science rules, divorce sucks. I have a number of divorces. Here's my bill for $1 billion.
Virtue is harmony, have restraint where urges may be, that get in the way of what you hear, make you too darn blind to see. He meant it, from the bottom of his hypotenuse atop a right angle. Master your primal instincts, we're not animals, emotions hard to untangle. Your brain is your soul. Through transmigration it may become pure. The world depends on opposites, light and dark, obvious and obscure.
A war in the East and West won? So who is it, started that one? Peace for East, temporary at best, entirely at the cost of war with West. Death takes no holiday, it is sure as being born yesterday. We fight to be born then die to be free. How long would any lasting peace be? It goes on from when you die until you are born again. Create more peaceful lives, without any fighting, then.
War is hell, life's a bitch and peacetime's oppressive. Don't be excessive, it complicates life, but still be expressive. Forgetting words is related to events becoming regressive. Life is a bitch. If it were a slut, it would be easy. Why is it hard to practice virtue and easy to be sleazy? Because we are given to instinct rather than intellect. One is easy to remember. The other difficult to forget.
Was the cosmos early expansion into a field that was previously idle? Or is any new void then, created within, after the universe's arrival? Did phase transition in the early universe create the Higgs field? What is the universe expanding into? Can that even be revealed? In what way is an organization of atomic nuclei from quark soup similar to steam turning into water and its transformation loop?
Watch scrupulously the chicken you pluck. Do not go too far chasing that lousy buck. The corrupt clucks win their own bad luck. What is the difference? We are all doing life anyway. Just nobody wants to spend it in prison, I would say. So kick back, enjoy. It is what we all seem to be doing. When every resource is expended, there's no renewing. Downloaded from the internet. Whose stuff are you viewing?
We're not aware what's enough, it's tough, until we know what's more than enough. Then it is off to a rehabilitation clinic for you. Stay there and have none. No sex till it's through. Ever been to rehab? Some of us never seem to stop drinking, becomes a way of life, lowers blood pressure, slows your thinking. So bottoms up anyway and nothing's wrong. Who would want their stressed life to prolong?
Were love equated to sex or money to honeybees would be in trouble with flowers, Sunny. The only reason I ever worry for any money. Procreation itself would be nothing but funny. I'm so out of it. Keeping their colonies is a big bluff. These angry bees won't let me just take their stuff. So I'm off down the street to the nearest store. I am not only going to get some, I'm going to get more.
What is Father Time in the face of death, involving murder and people you arrest? Without evidence they don't pass the test. How many still run about the planet free? Quite a few, I could, assuredly, guarantee. You may look into the wanted files, for looks to see. No proof or prosecution, they're not looking for me. So lock me up and throw away the only key. I am not the presumed suspect or nominee.
Still have not figured how to fill a time card. Don't mind if your record is a little marred. Disregard this as you've just been barred. Before you become committed to detention, have intuition of people's intention, what they have in mind, and do not mention. Pay attention, read the sign. Don't do the crime if you cannot spend all the freaking time. After this you won't be in your prime.
Befriend most, trust few and wrong none. Then go out and try to marry just one. Remainder of your life could be fun guessing you picked the right person. But do not get the beggars saying wrong. Be strong and sort through the throng. Find someone with whom you'll get along, who is kind, forgiving and not too headstrong. Not ignoring him, Shakespeare was right. To some it is misery, others a delight.
Black, white, Oriental or Australoid, what's your origin? I'd say Homo sapiens sapiens, not related to any aliens. It's to do with an entire planet, not a country or region. Nothing's wrong with the Bible. Do not have to use it to threaten folks. It's not the smartest that survive the longest, and so be careful with your jokes. The most adaptable to changes in a total environment survive. It is no hoax.
Now it has come to the point that I feel mean. Change is inevitable, except from this vending machine. It stole my last dollar, did not give me my caffeine. Now this infernal contraption, we cross. Next time it soups upside the hot cocoa ripoff. Stolen from the tree of knowledge. And don't forget to offer homage to ever-changing environments we bend. It will never be the same and win in the end.
Being no more than a standard name, do you have what it takes to be Dave? You've got to be both smart and brave, with brains faster than a moving sound wave, then paths of creativity pave, crave and save. A famous king in the Bible to whom many of us were liable, or a common man neither famous or reliable. In the future, and Dave will always be Dave. Through good times, bad times, even in the grave.
In outer space or yellow jello, what truth's absolute? Speed of light? Then it tends to bend and cannot be measured black or white. I would not call it absolutely true. It may be just more of an absolute. With the presence of dark matter and energy, pure vacuum doesn't exist. Consuming all Earth's resources is a way all seem to be doing. When every resource on the planet is expended, there's no renewing.
What's happy next to all I have ever seen? All you wish in a dish. It's called ice cream. Inspiration is here for your horny mind to enthrall. After a brain freeze though, who could think at all? Voluptuous vanilla with some nutty chocoholic. They will make you sick. Just gotta have a lick. 2 cones wearing a thong? This is already too far gone. Desire be an awful sin. Stare at Chantilly and grin.
Where id was there ego shall be. Acculturation takes place, you see. Environment affects biology, then self is me. It is only of itself, ego forces it into yourself. Superego makes an ego into ourself. Sometimes we don't conform to anything. Because superego forces conforming to everything. Losing an individuality becomes a scary thing. Simply don't go out anymore. Stay home with id, life's a bore.
Who would a completely normal person be? He would be composites of you as well as me. And many bits of everyone else we find to see. All sitting amidst man's family tree. It's all about not standing out in a crowd. You could become victimized for body parts were it allowed. Some organs are healthier than others to them endowed. I plan to be a donor once I'm dead. Get away, wait until then, I said.
Whom do you owe years of life? Whose would you cut short? Comes to money or friends, to what would people resort? Comes to a broken heart and being forced apart, it's better not to start. Why people die isn't always straightforward and obvious for most part. Your autopsy would never say from loneliness. It will only say dyspnea or shortness of breath. I'll not sink deeper on the subject to any depth.
Why hide your eyes when you can plagiarize? You cannot accurately copy from the heart. Is originality even necessary to call it art? Do not quote me. You may be an actor committing a crime. And for a lot of people this would not be the very first time. Yes, you heard me. Get a life. Do not become bent on stealing mine. Make me laugh. It is not stolen prose? Staring at you on paper under your nose.
Love is all you need. That what you need you cannot afford is forethought. Why is love real when you are young and cannot afford what you bought? Because when you are old and can't afford it, it is only an afterthought. What is the point here? Why even go out to earn a living anyway? Tell people you love them a lot just to get them to pay? Hey, it does not work. I've asked many times, try as I may.
Wise men will perpetually expect the entire world to run, seeking answers to problems they themselves become, complicating our common lives until history is done. Can we ever unite all the nations of the earth? You would think eventually that it would work. We should get it together, leaders to the lowest clerk. Nature dictates the smartest do not always get farthest, nor do strongest last the longest.
When the sum of the parts are not equal to the whole, something is missing. An aggregate totality when equal to one divided indefinitely might reach infinity, not dismissing that one more component which is the sum of the parts making infinity plus one. You may count and count of course, but it is never fundamentally done. There is always an omnipotent and remaining factor from which everything is begun.
Never rule out the Almighty, thinking the universe to be never-ending or eternal. The maker of time and its dimensions may move forward, sideways, or is reversible. Take a shadow which moves in any direction when illumination emits from any point. You are closer and closer to heaven. There is no source of light at the beginning. It is the source, infinity plus one, and is quite literally never-ending.
To sell out and go professional you have to be concessional. Say it in a very simple rhyme, I have not bought the greedy monetary thing at any time. My heart remains incorrupt, by avaricious, covetous crime. Yes people, I am still nearly broke. But I have not given up all hope, even though I am nearly at the end of my rope. Do not come dangerously, too close. I am too much with a dagger and cloak.
As well as speak truth, I seek truth. Write a reply on my blog before you die, that memory continues knowing why. Feel free to leave a long comment. Voice your feeling and sentiment. Is existence merely an accident? Maybe so crowded there's no standing room. But it does not seem like the world is ending soon. Most of what's here today will be here tomorrow. Except myself, not forever shall I grow.
Death is final when memory is lost, like vibrating strings a bow has crossed remains the melody in mind that is tossed. I just can't get this song called Living out of my mind. It isn't humankind alone but life as defined and unconfined. That sings the same song all along as though it had design. Perhaps it didn't and was left up to random chance. If that were true, you'd never asked her to dance.
Retention is ingenuous as in exact fact it's lasting and continuous. Deoxyribonucleic acid accurately rebuilds living organisms. All of them and us. Life that does not end in death. Begins in memories of the rest. Good thing deoxyribonucleic acid remembers because I surely don't. Have trouble with tempers. It is an incredibly complex job for gene clusters that are our tiny base pair assemblers.
Life is a gamble that is controlled by fear and greed, dictating the extent of each person's want and need. One, the morbid concern to face your inevitable death. Other is an insatiable desire to place the important bet. You have your moments. Not many, but you do have them. You know you are a little slow and cannot pick a true gem. It is just you are too sluggish to mention and fast to condemn.
From creation I can hear one repetitious quote. Seek unity, my fellow men, for it is our boat, a scale rests in nature, on which realities float. We are floating merrily down a stream, and our life is but a lengthened dream. The answer is in having unified intentions. See what happens as energy strengthens. Four forces for now are all these mentions. Nuclear weak, strong, gravity and magnetisms.
In a clamor for glamour, ignoring grammar, who lied so people died. Pull a trigger too easy to figure, matters not what I said at least I tried. Look in the mirror. Stare at the reflection. Think about lies you told. Totally bogus untruths costing people's lives and freedom you sold. Then close your eyes, do you still see the reflection? That lingers like the smell of gunpowder in a fired weapon.
Is Earth a holographic projection, the universe only vibration, fast oscillation, fitful harmony within our imagination? Maybe too good to be true is more likely. That Earth isn't solid, some won't take lightly. It all falls back on that secretive particle field, through which forces act and we're concealed. Void space, fields of physics are articles. A field of lightly interacting large particles.
Some the good book then. Whoever has the gold makes the rules, true? Not, exactly, study hard. Do to others as you would have them do to you. Too lazy to read it. I already saw the movie. It is hard to summarize briefly. So take it down to notches where a 6-year-old or adult understands it completely. A 7-year-old might practice it. Seek knowledge and follow the golden rule. Says it neatly.
Scat's crown G old excuse for a cat, go try to catch an equally useless rat. Love your neighbor is always right. In the wicked find things that delight. Love them, no one said anything about like. I talk endlessly with some, to others I wouldn't chat. No one chose to live next door to that grumpy cat. Would the jury agree to a murder, 2nd degree? Very suddenly, you see, it has become her or me.
Nothing but take, makes you just another snake. And before you begin, no matter what form it's in, desire can be a very grievous sin and a deadly friend. Also happens it is the original sin that can be forgiven. Still waiting on the streetcar with that peculiar name? Can't make up my mind if I wanna be a cobra, rattler or maybe a mamba. Stand in awe. Wish for nothing, mama. All I can say is caramba.
Work hard, live fast and die young, we all contrive. The James Dean lifestyle we strive to revive. It is far better to travel well than to arrive. Always make extensive plans to survive. It makes people reassess success. If you have gotten to this success, be sure to also have finesse. You may want to possess a career with less stress. You know that inside. It'd be better alive. No good that we said.